Smoke weed every day, every day, every day. Smoke some weed every day. Smoke weed every day. Last night, I went and saw Lord of the Rings, The War of Rohirrum, which is a 2D animated movie. And it is a Japanese anime Lord of the Rings movie. And it is a 2D animated movie that's released theatrically, because I seen it in theaters, and I think the last time a strictly 2D animated movie made money was the Simpsons movie back in 2007, which is a long time. Like, usually 2D animated movies is on the big screen at least is considered obsolete, which it does suck, but it's kind of the general public's fault and all the moviegoers' fault, because 3D CGI animation is basically took over 2D animation, which does suck, and we're probably never gonna get a 2D animated SpongeBob movie, which does suck. Like, but that is off topic. But it sucks that 2D animation is not mainstream on the big screen, which it does suck. Okay, looking at the director of Lord of the New Rohirrum, the new Lord of the Rings. The director is Kenji Kamiyama, who worked on Ghost in the Shell, and I'm not, so sorry for any anime fans out there. I am not an anime fan. Like, I'm not, like, there's some anime that I really enjoy. Like, I love the Castlevania series on Netflix. Fun show. And this movie is like Castlevania, but it's PG-13, there isn't gore or anything like that. This is a PG-13 animated movie, and it's 2D. And when I saw it in the theater, no one was there, which Lord of the Rings is a big franchise. Like, I love the Lord of the Rings movies, like the trilogy, but like, I'm not like a fan where I know all the lore, where a basement dweller who knows all the lore or anything like that. I am not that. Like, I read the book, first one, Fellowship of the Ring, and I read The Hobbit. I read some of the books, but I'm not a diehard fan. The reason why I wanted to go see this movie in particular was because it's a 2D animated film that's released theatrically, and I want to support 2D animation on the big screen. And is this movie good? Well, this is the first theatrical released, like, movie based on Tolkien since the Hobbit trilogy, which I'm just hoping, and then there's a new Lord of the Rings movie that's live action, The Hunt For Gollum, that's coming next year. And I'm hoping that this movie and The Hunt For Gollum isn't the next Star Wars sequel trilogy, which the sequel trilogy of Star Wars was garbage. Is the new Lord of the Rings good? The War of Rohirrum? I have a lot of mixed feelings on that movie, because there are things that I love about it and things that are that are kind of about it. Like, the first act, like, the pacing, like, the first part of the movie was the pacing was off. The pacing was pretty terrible, and like, I felt like this movie felt like it was going to be a series, like on HBO Max, but then it was decided, you know what, let's make it a movie, why not? Like, the movie did start to get better in the middle, and then at the third act felt anticlimactic. Like, it didn't feel epic or anything like that, or it didn't feel like, yeah, that's badass or anything like that. Like the final battle, like, Lord of the Rings is known for its epic battles and so on. That's what made, one of the things that made the Lord of the Rings trilogy great. The Lord of the Rings, like Fellowship of the Ring, great movie. It's a great paced movie because, like, it's like Fellowship of the Ring, like the first Lord of the Rings, it does a great job of slowly introducing the characters. And at the first act of the movie, like, the movie doesn't do a good job introducing the characters well, much at all. And at the middle of the movie, like, near the second act of the movie, there is some good character development, but this is a spoiler-free review, I'm not going to spoil anything. Like, there's some good character development, some decent character development in the second act. But the movie is very jumpy, like, it jumps to other events really quickly, and it felt very, it didn't slow down like the Lord of the Rings, the original trilogy of movies, to develop the characters or anything like that. Like, War of Rohirrum doesn't do that very well. One positive I love is that the animation is beautiful. Like, this is a gorgeous animated movie. It looks beautiful. It is a beautiful movie to look at. And even though I'm not a 3D, I'm not like a 3D gimmick person. Like, it's not 2010 anymore, but it's not 2010. But I feel like this movie could be really cool in 3D because, like, with the blizzard blowing into the screen, like, even though I'm not wearing any 3D glasses, it's just 2D, there aren't any 3D showings at all. Like, it feels like the snow is, like, blowing in your face, like in a blizzard, and in a telescope view, like, there's some fog in the glass of the telescope. Like, it felt like it's in 3D when it really is not. Like, that's what I felt in a way. Which I love the animation, the attention to detail. The animation is just beautiful. It looks beautiful. It is a gorgeous animated movie. And it is a great movie. If you just want beautiful animation, then this movie will not disappoint you. Like, I wanted to love this movie. I wanted this movie to be good and have the Rotten Tomatoes score be in the 90s, but it's in the 50s right now. Like, I wish this movie was good, but it wasn't. It wasn't god-awful. Like, the movie is better than The Rings of Power. Like, it's one of those shows where I just watched one episode and it's like, this is shit. Like, this movie is better than Rings of Power, and it is better than the Star Wars sequel trilogy. Like, it is beautifully animated, and it has some decent character development. Not like complex, but there's some good character development, some interesting character development, and all, but the pacing's not good, and it's a movie that could have been better. Like, if if you're someone who knows all about Lord of the Rings lore, if you're the kind of Lord of the Rings fan where the lore of Middle-earth is more real than my mother's basement, then you're more likely going to enjoy the movie more. But this movie is just mediocre. Like, the first act wasn't good. The final battle, the third act was anticlimactic, and the middle starts getting more entertaining. One of the other issues I had with it is that, like, that I can't really go into without spoiling this movie. I can't do that. I can't spoil the movie. It has some decent character development, good animation, but the pacing isn't good. And the third act wasn't good. I wanted to love this movie. I wanted this movie to be good and do well at the box office, because that means we get more 2D animation on the big screen, and that's more PG-13 and R-rated animated films on the big screen as well. But this movie's just mediocre. Not awful, just mediocre. Which I wanted to like this movie. It has merits, but it is just mediocre. Not awful, mediocre.